finally, Agassi, just when he really doesn't need it so much, gets a lucky net cord. That must be a dagger in Todd Martin's heart.
Oh dear, oh dear, it's all here, it's all here. And let me just correct myself, it'll be only the second time that he'll have lost in the final of a Grand Slam, not the third time. And Agassi has been irrepressible in this final set. Got 3 points to the US Open Championship again. Done it. It's taken him 5 years since the first time he won it, and he came through deep waters in this match. He really did. He won the first set, but then Martin played above himself. It was a superb recovery by Martin. As a match, it's been a wonderful advertisement for the sportsmanship of these two American players. It took 3 hours and 23 minutes, and you can hear what America thinks about it.
And what we think about it. Agassi goes through his ritual of thanking the 4 sides of the crowd. It's a nice ritual. He means it. They love it. He's come through a tough match, 2 sets to 1 down, not playing all that well, not being allowed to play all that well by Todd Martin. An inspired performance by him, really. You felt he was fading at the end, and he did, but all credit to both men. A terrific final.
Agassi has now won 35 of his last 39 matches, which include the titles at the French at Roland Garros and at Washington. And he was in the final at Wimbledon, and now he's won the US Open. And he's been really the star attraction all the way through.
Wherever he goes, Jerry, he's the star attraction. I mean, it matters not if Sampras, Rafter, all the other stars of the men's game are playing. Agassi is, he's got a certain magic. I know people love to see him. And why not? He's very exciting. But he jolly nearly got put away in this match by a really good performance by the other American, Martin.
Well, he's having his second flowering as a champion at the very highest level. Don't forget, by winning the French this year, he joined Emerson, Laver, Budge and Perry. These are champions, they really are, as the only men to win all 4 Grand Slam championships.
With thanks to Bill Threlfall and Jerry Williams for that commentary. 53 games of the most scintillating tennis. It's probably ruined your Monday morning, but who cares? You saw a great tennis match out there. Andre Agassi, Peter Fleming, as good as his word, really. I think he thought he was going to win this, but I don't think he thought he was going to have such a struggle out there. Well done to Todd Martin.
Exactly right. I think Todd Martin played absolutely as well as he could play. The only problem was that he needed to play it for 4 sets and could only play it really for 3. It's very, very difficult to maintain that high a level when you're not used to doing it.
We'll go back to the presentation in just a few moments' time. Todd Martin pushed himself to the limit out there. So much better than that '94 Australian final where he lost to Pete Sampras. We've talked about him before, about the semi-final, Mal Washington at Wimbledon. To come out in that arena and to take on Agassi like that was wonderful. And, you know, he couldn't break Agassi's serve, and he still went the distance.
Never broke his serve, and that puts a lot of pressure on you when you know that you can't lose your serve against a guy, a returner like Agassi. But Martin still hung in there, and I have never, ever seen him volley as well as he did today. And it's a tribute. But, you know, Agassi is so good that Agassi just wears you down. And he kept his nerve, and just in the end, it was too much. He broke Todd Martin down.
He was running to the changeovers. That was sending a very clear message, both to his own body and to Todd Martin. There was only one winner going into that fifth set. I really felt that.
Yeah, I think that Todd Martin had his opportunity at, what it was, a 3-4 in the fourth set when he had those break points, and had he won those, that was his opportunity to win the match, but in the fifth, he was done.
Let's just take you all the way back. Let's take you back 52 games, in fact. This opened up with Todd Martin in the sunshine before the lights came on, struggling to hold his serve. This was the pattern that we expected. Didn't pan out that way entirely in the end. But Agassi, 30-all, first game, having been love 30 down, was seeing the ball so quick and so early. I am a betting man. At this point, I would have said straight sets to Andre Agassi, because if he does that to your serve early, you're in big trouble. Just a block on the backhand side, just a quick rotation of the body. The racket doesn't go back far, and he generates enormous power, and it's very dangerous for an opponent if he's doing that. So he got himself this break point. On this particular return and pass, again, out in front, takes it early, opens the court with that one, flips the backhand, look where he's standing, way inside the court. And at that point, I would have said it was curtains already, and that was after one game. Bill Threlfall was saying exactly the same thing on the commentary. Shows what we know.
Well, yeah, we didn't know that Todd Martin was going to raise the level of his serving and volleying to a standard, really, that he doesn't often do, because he doesn't normally come into net as much as he did, but he did that very well. Indeed.
Andre Agassi, the champion. Todd Martin played his part. He's being appreciated now by Tony Trabert and by the 20,000 plus at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. Let's listen to what this gallant runner-up has to say.
Fabulous tournament and a great final. You just came up a tad short, but you certainly don't have anything to be ashamed of.
No, I don't, but it was more than a tad short. I can't take my hat off more. I took it off in the first set, but Andre, you played great. You deserve it. I couldn't think of a better way to go out than to play a great match against a great champion.
Todd Martin, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd also like to thank Dean Goldfine, Jose Higueras, Rick Furman, Tom Gullickson, Paul Torricelli, my mother, my sister, my girlfriend Amy. I love you all. Thank you.
All right, Todd. And Tom, you have a check for our winner?
Yes, we do. For the best player in the world, a check in the amount of $750,000 from Infinity to Andre Agassi, a true champion. Thank you. Great job.
Andre, all that work is paid off for you. You've won the French finalist at Wimbledon, U.S. Open champion for the second time. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I tell you what, how can you ask for anything better than two Americans in the finals of the U.S. Open playing a great five-set match? I tell you what, something that's important for me to say is, win or lose today, it was truly a privilege and an honor for me to be out here, and this is the greatest times of my life, and I'll never forget New York right here. Thank you.
Judy, you have a trophy for our champion, who tomorrow will be again ranked #1 in the world.
On behalf of all these wonderful fans here and those across the United States and around the world, it is my privilege to present this beautiful trophy to the 1999 U.S. Open men's champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 1999 U.S. Open men's singles champion, Andre Agassi.
21 months ago, he was ranked 141 in the world. His career was struggling. He was down in the dumps. He couldn't find the motivation. And this year, he wins 2 of the 4 Grand Slams. He's gone back to world #1. And what a way for Grand Slam and championship tennis to finish the century. It's in safe hands with Andre Agassi, and couple this victory with that of Serena Williams. We've seen some tremendous entertainment. He'll milk this for all it's worth. A second US Open Championship victory for Andre Agassi. Well, as the pictures that you'll be seeing in the papers over the next couple of days are taken, we will complete our roll of honor. Andre Agassi wins the men's singles championship. The men's doubles champions, Leroux and O'Brien, a first Grand Slam for them. The women's singles went to Serena Williams, of course. And the women's doubles champions are Serena Williams alongside Venus Williams. They played the final today. They beat Chanda Rubin and Sandrine Testou 4-6, 6-1, 6-4. So a double for Serena. Mahesh Bhupathi and Ai Sugiyama, the mixed doubles champions. It was fantastic stuff. And our next tennis on Sky Sports will be the Grand Slam Cup. The top 12 men in the... There were some quiet moments, weren't there, during the first week? It took off on Saturday. And a couple of... I mean, the women's was fantastic, wasn't it, frankly?
It really was. It was great to see Andre come through in the men's, and he really saved the men's tournament because it really took a backseat to the women's. What a great performance from Serena Williams, and so many of the good young players, new players coming in. It's women's tennis especially is looking very strong. Yeah, Serena Williams, of course, winning the singles and doubles here as just a 17-year-old. Andre Agassi winning the men's singles. This rededication that he put himself through, I wouldn't have thought that anybody could go from where he was to where he is now. I wonder what Pete Sampras was making of that final. Todd Martin, his good buddy, of course. Well, I'm sure Pete was wishing he was there. You know, Pete, there's nothing more than he would have liked to win his record-breaking 13th Grand Slam title at the U.S. Open. And I'm sure that'll motivate him to come back in Australia next year. Indeed, and that's where he probably will come up. My thanks to all the guests and to you, Peter. Thank you very much. Enjoyed your company over the last 2 weeks. What a finish to major championship tennis this century. The Grand Slam show, as Peter said, reconvenes. Melbourne 2000, Melbourne Park for the Australian Open. But Serena Williams, we've seen her arrival here. She's the women's singles champion. Agassi, his ascent to the pinnacle of the men's game, has continued apace. 2 Grand Slams for him in 1 year. From all of the Sky Sports production team, who I'd like to thank very much here, from all of Sky Sports who've covered the US Open both on site and here in London, we'd like to say goodbye. Hope you enjoyed it.